It's crucial for men to open up and talk about their feelings to others without fear of embarrassment, weakness, or stigma. By sharing their emotions and struggles, men can seek comfort, clarity, and support, fostering emotional connections and understanding. Opening up allows men to release frustration, process complex feelings, and receive validation for their experiences, reducing feelings of isolation. Many men suffer in silence, but talking about things is key for better mental well-being. If a man is feeling suicidal, it is especially important for them to be open and seek help and support. Talking about suicidal thoughts allows for men to be better understood by others and to make them aware of risks. Seeking help and talking openly about suicidal ideation is a courageous step towards prioritizing mental health and safety, ultimately leading to better outcomes and support in times of vulnerability. Men who are struggling need to know that it's okay to speak up and share their experiences with their trusted friends and family and let them know how they're feeling. For a really long time, I think men, especially the older generation, have been taught that kind of being really stoic and suppressing the way that they feel is the right thing to do. It's almost a sign of strength, when in reality it's actually just running away from our problems. So being able to open up, show vulnerability, talk to someone about how you're feeling, it's actually a sign of strength. So it is important that we're able to, or we're encouraging this from the younger generation as well. So in 10, 20 years time, we're not having these same issues. I think finding, you're right. So having it at like the, at the pub or, really crowded space probably isn't the right thing to do. You want to find like a private space where someone feels comfortable, and approach the situation, just really gently. So kind of noticing that, hey, I've been noticing that there's some things that have been different about you, and I'm concerned. I just wanted to know if there was anything up, and kind of create that environment to be able to have that sort of discussion. Well, I think if you're rejected by someone when you're trying to seek help, it probably says, unfortunately, probably more about their own relationship with mental health than you, if that makes sense. So it shouldn't be. You shouldn't give up. It's important to talk to other friends, other family. If you're comfortable, start to reach out to a counselor or a psychologist to be able to have those types of discussions. Because sometimes the people closest to us just don't have the right tools to be able to have those sorts of conversations. I think firstly, and I tell all my clients this as well, is that it doesn't matter what issue you're having, it's all valid, right? It's still in your mind, it's still making you feel bad. It's still something that deserves to have space. But just to kind of take steps, we want to, jump on the internet, start Googling, services that might focus more on those areas. So if you're going through a breakup, you might want to look for a psychologist or a counselor that specializes in or focuses, on grief. Or you might want a psychologist that is male or female or younger or older or culturally sensitive. So just using the internet as a bit of a tool to be able to kind of source, the right therapist for you. You can talk to your GP, you can jump on Psychology Today or APS Find a Psychologist. There's a bunch of resources out there to kind of help. I think firstly, it's important to kind of to validate your own experience and go, actually, what I am feeling and what I'm experiencing is legit. Just because someone might shut it down doesn't mean that it's not true for me. So you could be, you could potentially be maybe a little bit more assertive and actually say to your friend, like, actually, no, this is really affecting me. I really would like to talk about it. But then, like we were talking about before, you could, make sure that you reach out to other friends as well. Don't let that be the
the end of the road, and obviously talk to other professionals as well. If you take your car to a mechanic and you weren't happy with the service that mechanic provided, you wouldn't stop driving. You'd take the car to another mechanic and find the right fit for you. So it's the same with finding the right therapist. There's so many different styles and modalities, and just because one therapist isn't the right fit for you doesn't mean therapy, mental health support isn't the right fit for you at all. I think men have been taught for a really long time that that they're kind of sucking things up and getting things done is a sign of strength. And then there's a lot of shame with kind of expressing the way that you feel and your kind of emotional experience as well. But actually being able to express yourself and show vulnerability is actually a sign of strength, because you're owning what's kind of going on for you and then trying to take steps towards getting better. Well, if the problems that you're experiencing are directly related to friends and family, then sometimes friends and family aren't going to be as open to having those sorts of discussions. So reaching out talking to your GP probably first as almost like a gateway to be able to find access to other services is probably a good step. So you can kind of get that support without relying so heavily just on friends and family. Mental health professionals provide you kind of a safe and neutral space to be able to discuss some of your challenges that you're having. So you're able to just kind of talk about what's kind of going on for you without fear of judgment, and fear of what you're talking about being kind of leaked out, because everything's obviously confidential. Mental health professionals are also trained. We go through six plus years of university. And therapy draws from evidence-based strategies to be able to help. So where therapists are trained to be able to help you with things like anxiety and depression. And sometimes friends and family don't quite have those tools to be able to assist you with those things. If you have concerns and you're not quite sure about, is this psychologist the right fit for me? You can just jump on the internet and have a bit of a Google of, is this person culturally sensitive? Are they neuroaffirming? Are they LGBTQI affirming as well? So those services are out there. So if there's a long wait time from, the time that you see your GP to see the psychologist, it's really important that you don't get put off, but it's quite understandable. But in the meantime, making sure that if appropriate, you are talking to your friends and your family about the way that you're feeling. Focus on just basic kind of self-care, so making sure that you're exercising, you're eating right, you're sleeping. In terms of just getting ready for the therapeutic process, it's you can start to write down maybe some of the thoughts and feelings that you're having. Some of the goals that you have for therapy as well. And if you have the kind of immediate concerns for your safety, there's resources like Lifeline out there to be able to kind of just talk with someone in the insurance. I think in terms of practical advice you can start to do if you have a friend or family member coming to you with their own kind of mental health challenges, it's important. Well, I think it's important just to ask them what they do need, because often we can jump into problem solver mode and say things like, "Oh, just start exercising," or try mindfulness, all that kind of thing. But it's important to just be able to sit there, ask someone what they need, because someone might just need the space to be able to talk about how they're feeling, and it's really important that we allow them to be able to do that and then validate their experience. So saying things like, "That sounds really hard, I'm sorry you're going through that," rather than kind of jumping into problem solving mode and just trying to fix everything.